Here we go. Welcome to my WWE Clash of Champions 2019 recap and reactions, and from that ending there, that doesn't come off as a surprise because I predicted it, and especially from the match result anyway. So just basically the hits that he gave off, I knew he was going to probably return. But I'm going to get to that later. That was just our main event for the show. And honestly, WWE Clash of Champions, most of the matches, most of them as you go through, I'm going to get ready to talk about each one individually and just speed through most of them because they were really short. They were very short matches. They didn't take that long to really just go through. And one particular match here on the Kickoff Show, I'm going to start with why did this match ended up being on a Kickoff Show instead of on the main show was beyond me. But when you go to watch it, it didn't even last that long. So no wonder they put it as a kickoff match. But one match in particular, just to talk about this event, Clash of Champions is the event where every single title is put on the line. Every single title is basically defended from the WWE Championship all the way to tag team championships from both brands, Raw and Smackdown, and also the women's title and the women's championships from both brands, and also the tag team championships from both brands as well. Just every single title that you can possibly imagine for each of the shows. But this kickoff show, the Cruiserweight Championship with Drew Gulak's match, I didn't even catch it. But I'm just going to run right over it. He already won the match. He already retained his title. But I'm just going to go through the matches I did see. Like AJ Styles, this was part of the kickoff match. This is the first time I've ever seen AJ Styles part of the kickoff show. But when you go to watch this match, it didn't even last that long. AJ Styles taking on Cedrick Alexander for the United States Championship. He ended up retaining. And then I'm just going to speed through this. I don't know who else is going to be his next opponent. Ricochet didn't even have a match. And apparently he was in the King of the Ring tournament. But I don't know what they're going to do with him now. Is he going to come back and return and try to compete for the U.S. title? Who else is going to be able to step up against AJ Styles to take away this, well, to try to take the U.S. title off his hands? I don't know what they're going to probably do for his next opponent. But I'm going to just get to the next one. There was no other no other matches for the kickoff show. So let's get to the main show besides the Cruiserweight Championship and the United States Champion. The United States Championship. The main show, the first match of the main show, Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, the current Raw Tag Team Champions, taking on Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, the newly 14, this new duo that they have now. And surprisingly, they ended up having Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. So now this was one of the few titles that was changed during the whole show. But I wasn't really too surprised about this because they just got the title. Of course, they're not going to have the titles too long, and they were eventually going to, Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman were going to face each other later on the same night for the Universal Championship for the main event. But that's later, so we'll get into that later on. But it's nice to see that they're going to probably have some, just Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, and have some, just have them do something for the show. So they're going to be holding these titles for a while. I don't know who else is going to possibly be the ones to challenge them. There's just so many questions that I have for some of these matches as I go through them. But on to the next match, Charlotte and Bayley. This was yet another short one. This wasn't really all that long. It's just almost similar to the length of the AJ Styles and Cedrick Alexander match from the kickoff show. This could have been part of the kickoff show. For the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley ended up retaining the match, retaining her title from just a turnbuckle, just smashing Charlotte's head against the bottom turnbuckle, and then covers her and to win, to escape with a victory. That was the whole match basically. But Charlotte had the whole offense for the majority of the match, and then that's all Bayley had to really do since they made Bayley a heel now. I don't know how some of you guys feel about that Bayley's a heel now, but now I guess it's a nice little change a little bit. So because she was like the baby face and just going for the company, and now that she beat Charlotte, I think she's probably going to hold on to this title for a while now that she's a heel. So she's going to be taking the easy way out and just doing dirty moves to even try to keep her title. But To be honest, superstars like Charlotte, she already had her chance, and we don't need to keep having her see the same people win the championships over and over. But I'm going to talk more about that soon. But let's get to the next match. The SmackDown Tag Team match, SmackDown Tag Team Championship, being defended from by the New Day's Big E and Xavier Woods. They ended up losing to the Revival, so Revival became the new Tag Team Champions for tonight. The next match was Fire and Desire, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville taking on Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Tag Team Championship. And just when I thought Fire and Desire was going to probably get their chance to probably shine as a tag team, because they seem like a good duo, pretty good in the ring, and just very underrated. But it's nice to still see that Alexa Bliss, I personally don't have a problem with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross winning to retain these championships. And I gotta just say it again, I said this before from the last previous pay-per-view that I watched, way before Clash of Champions. I thought they were going to really just dump Nikki Cross and just have her just go back sit in the back of the locker room and not give her any matches or anything like that. But it seems like that now that they're a good tag team, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. So they're probably going to hold these tag team titles. It's just like I said before, it's just another one of those superstars that you see holding the title for a while. But they're eventually going to drop on soon. Maybe they'll fall apart and they'll end up splitting Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross apart eventually. And then they'll become rivals, best friends become enemies. Almost the same thing like they did with Sasha Banks and Bayley from a while ago. They might do the same thing with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross and make them opponents and just rivals and going against each other and just start a feud with them after they lose their titles. But I thought it would have happened earlier when Nikki Cross kind of cost Alexa Bliss the title, her chance of winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. But now they're just a tag team now. The next match was The Miz taking on Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm glad that they're making him defend this title, because every show, almost every event, I'm not even exaggerating, all these different shows that they had with Shinsuke Nakamura with the Intercontinental Championship, it's like they didn't even care about this title at all. They just never had him defend it. And they finally just have him just put him on an event to give him an opponent, give him some kind of challenge. I don't know what happened to Rusev. He could be challenged for the title. They could have made this almost like a triple threat. I don't know what's going on with him. But they have the Miz challenge Shinsuke Nakamura. And now they got Sami Zayn just following him around, almost as if he's his muse or something like that. Because he's the artist. It's like the storyline. He's this artist. He's the best, and the king of strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura. As good as he is, it's nice to see him back and just give him some TV time, having him just sit in the back and not have any matches during the week for SmackDown, any sort of competition whatsoever. Miz is a good choice, but now I already knew he was going to win. He ended up retaining because Sami Zayn ended up interfering with the match, because if Sami Zayn wasn't there, Miz would already be the new Intercontinental Champion by some chance. But now that Sami Zayn is around, as long as Sami Zayn is around, Shinsuke is going to continue to hold this title. At least I think so. Unless he finally decides to drop Sami Zayn eventually later on down a few weeks and maybe within like a month. But on to the next match. I think these next two matches that right after this Intercontinental Championship match, after Shinsuke retained, Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks, one of the best matches that I can recommend if you go to watch this show, The Clash of Champions. You guys are probably going to enjoy this a little bit more. It was a good match, but I just didn't like that we didn't get like a definitive winner. Sasha Banks ended up winning by disqualification because Becky Lynch just attacked a referee. And after all those chair shots over and over, it's like the referee, it's the same thing. It's like the referees don't see anything that goes on. They just go down so easily, and they stay down for like 20 minutes. One little hit and you stay down for 20 minutes. It's as if they just had the ref take a nap and they signal when to get up. But then it's just so different. It's nothing really surprising when you go to watch this, but it's such a good match, and I just really wanted to see like a winner. I wouldn't have had a problem with Becky Lynch retaining or Sasha Banks, but it just seems like superstars like Banks can probably take eventually take the title away from her. But it was just such a competitive match. But I don't know where's Ronda Rousey. After one L, you just disappear out of nowhere, and you're just nowhere to be found after one little loss. And I don't know if anybody, I can't even think of anybody in the company in the women's division that's going to be able to take this title off of Becky Lynch besides Sasha Banks or maybe a returning Ronda Rousey out of nowhere. But that was the Raw Women's Championship, so she still has her title, and I'm sure there's probably going to be another, probably another feud, a rematch for Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. Maybe some other superstar might get involved. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But on to the next, we got Kofi Kingston defending his WWE Championship against Randy Orton. Another good match, another personal favorite match. I think those are my top two matches for the night, even though I didn't talk about these other, these final two matches coming up right afterwards. Kofi Kingston ended up retaining and showing Randy Orton that he's good enough and that he belongs. It's pretty cool to see just someone from his past that didn't think he was that good enough. Just outshine him and then just outsmart him out of nowhere for this story. He'll outsmart him for this storyline, and he ended up winning to retain and prove himself to Randy Orton. Now, who's going to possibly be his next challenger? I don't know. I can't imagine who else could possibly end up taking this title. But it's just, I keep saying it because I just don't know what they're going to do next with all these matches. Who's going to be the next opponent? Who's going to get that chance? Who's going to get a chance to get their shot at the title instead of the same people over and over? So this was really a really good match. So unlike the Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks match, this one was a definitive winner. So it didn't end like it did from before when Randy said Kofi ran from a fight and he couldn't beat him in a one-on-one match and he knew he was going to probably lose. So now I don't know what his excuse is going to be come Tuesday night. The next match was Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan one-on-one. I don't know if this was a no DQ. Was this a no disqualification match? Because they were just all over the ring, all over the arena in Charlotte. But surprisingly, Luke Harper was hurt. Who saw that coming? I was so surprised. And it's nice to see him again, Luke Harper. But I thought he would have came out earlier. But it seemed like he got into some trouble. I don't know what the whole story is when it comes to Luke Harper. But I'm glad he's back in the company now. So now he's going to be partner up with Eric watching his back. Remember the Bludgeon Brothers? If you guys been watching the show lately, that tag team is going to be back again now. So it seems like the Bludgeon Brothers are going to be running all over Roman Reigns again unless he gets some backup. Maybe Daniel Bryan will have his back. Maybe it'll be Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns teaming up against the Bludgeon Brothers in tag team matches. So that'll probably be like a tag team match. But way before I saw Luke Harper return tonight, I thought Daniel Bryan would come out there to assist Roman Reigns because he got put through the table by Eric Rowan prior to this event. So I thought he would end up helping Roman Reigns. But maybe I probably just predicted the next feud. Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan teaming up to take on the Bludgeon Brothers in tag team match for the next pay-per-view. So I don't know if I could be wrong. But it's nice to see Luke Harper again. And hopefully they use him properly. I hope he doesn't get into any trouble. He's good enough as a singles competitor. So it was nice to see everyone say, welcome back, and just welcome him back to the company. Now let's get to the main event. Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. This wasn't that really good of a match. 3 stomps and just stomping Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman just being an unstoppable monster that he is, kicking out of everything at one. And just barely before the referee can even consider to even try to even attempt to do a count, a pinfall with Seth Rollins for trying to go for it. But he ends up still finding a way to win. And surprisingly, Seth Rollins ended up doing a pedigree. He got that back in the match. That's back in his list of specials. But now he's not just the Kingslayer now from beating Triple H. Now he's the Kingslayer and the Monster Slayer from beating Braun Strowman. But I don't think Braun Strowman will ever get that title again because ever even get another title match because now they just continue to have him lose. But what I did like about this, the best thing, one of my other highlights besides those two, Kofi's match and Becky Lynch's match, the Fiend ended up attacking Seth Rollins. So he's coming for that title. They better let him win. That's all I got to say. Because he's the best thing going for the show. He's the best gimmick going for the show to keep the ratings up for Raw and Smackdown. And Finn Balor never even came back after he just got destroyed by the Fiend. So I'm surprised they didn't have him come back as the Demon to do the Demon versus the Fiend. That would have been better. But who knows when he might return. And what the whole story with Finn Balor is after that loss. That crazy loss. But I can't wait to see that title around the Fiend. But I don't know if you guys might think maybe it's too early. Maybe they should still have him keep his streak going for a little bit and have him just dominate people over that. And then something else outside of that, even if they didn't have the Fiend just go after Seth Rollins, I would love to see the Fiend versus Aleister Black. That's a fight. Give him a real fight. Aleister Black from Smackdown, he can go after the Fiend. Have the Fiend come after him. That's just that matchup. It's gonna be really good. Just imagine that Aleister Black versus the Fiend and Bray Wyatt. They could have did that way before this, and just to give Aleister Black a real challenge, a real opponent. But it seems like they're just gonna have, no matter whoever, everybody he just went against so far, he just ended up winning against. So I'm really excited to see what they do, and I hope the Fiend ends up winning. So I hope they don't have him just lose, have him just go on the street. And that would just destroy his character. Because when I first saw this, just to be open, this was basically all the matches. When I first saw this Firefly Funhouse, I thought they honestly destroyed Bray Wyatt's character. I was just like, how can they just do this to this guy's characters? He's not even scary anymore. And it just seemed like he was just a joke, just looking at him. And it's like a show as if he belongs on Blue's Clues. When you just go to look at the Firefly Funhouse, it was like a show that was supposed to be aired on Nick Jr. Just from looking at his character, he was supposed to be someone scary, just to instill fear in his opponents and stuff like that, to intimidate them, and just what he does with his character and all, to become the next Undertaker. But now, the Fiend is scarier than the Undertaker. The Undertaker is not even all that scary anymore. The Fiend is the next thing. He's basically the next Undertaker. So he may as well have passed the torch to him. He could have already lost to Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania to pass the torch as the next scariest, just the Fiend and the next scariest superstar in the company. And the Fiend just looks so scary now, just with his mask. Whoever's idea was it for this Fiend, it's the perfect idea. It's the best thing going for the company, and it's only right for him to get that title and to snatch that title off of Seth Rollins. And I don't see nobody else stopping the Fiend if he does get that title. But that's my reactions. That's everything that happened for a recap for the show. I just wanted to talk a little about some things I would like to see. But all I can really do is just wait for the next show from Monday Night Raw and then Tuesday Night Smackdown to see what they do with some of these other superstars. Who's going to be the next challenger for the WWE Championship? Or Randy Orton want another rematch? Maybe some other superstars will come down the line to try to, maybe some returning superstars. Jeff Hardy's injured. I haven't even seen broken Matt Hardy just compete. It just makes you wonder, what are they doing with some of these other superstars? What happened to Sheamus? Is Sheamus still injured? What's up with Rusev? They could all be competing all over again to just be in the matches. It's just, we don't even know what's going on. And then Asuka, she's in the tag team division. I could just keep going. But I wish she could probably step up and take the title. She could have beat Becky. But I guess they'll probably end up eventually challenging Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championships. But I just only wish that they just do some other things, just some different things to keep the stories fresh. Stop giving the titles to the same superstars over and over and the same people over and over. It's Bray Wyatt's turn. I think the Fiend is the best thing going. Just to say it again, it's the best thing going for the show, and it's only right for him to take that title off of Seth Rollins now to dethrone the King and Monster Slayer. Nothing against him. He's one of my favorites in this new generation of superstars. But it's time for other people to step up and get that title shot. Bray Wyatt hasn't been a champion since he had that WWE Championship for a little bit when he won an elimination. That was way before the Fiend even existed, and when he was long gone for a while. But now it's his time to shine.